gotta say no Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
So Orlando Brown just dropped a huge secret that's shaking things up in Hollywood. Apparently there are some big name celebs quietly paying Diddy to make sure their names don't end up in the spotlight. He says they're coming hard, but everything's on tape, every single thing, and then he adds, that's why I respect Puff so much, he's got it all recorded, and if these stars don't keep him happy, he could ruin their careers. But here's the real question, what is Diddy actually hiding, and who's paying the price to keep it all under wraps? Orlando, who's never been shy about speaking his mind, is pulling back the curtain on Diddy's world in a way we've never seen before. According to him, Diddy doesn't just know Hollywood's biggest secrets, he's got the proof. Recordings, deals, maybe even blackmail, it's all on camera. Brown says this isn't about music or fame, this is about control. Orlando even says Diddy is the man who created more jobs in the armed forces, implying just how much power Diddy really has in the industry. But it doesn't stop there. Brown also says Diddy's parties are the kind of places where no one's secrets are safe. So just how much power does Diddy really have over Hollywood, and is Orlando's story enough to believe that stars are paying to keep certain tapes from ever seeing the light of day? In the interview, Brown goes even further and talks about a specific rule you need to follow if you don't want to fall victim to Diddy's schemes. According to him, there's a certain standard that catches Diddy's attention, and if you don't meet it, well, things could get messy.
They coming like a mother. They coming like, but every.
So Orlando Brown just dropped some seriously wild claims that are making waves in Hollywood. He's saying that Diddy's not just a big deal in the music world, but he's got some major control over Hollywood too, like the kind of control that keeps stars on their toes. Orlando's making it sound like Diddy's parties are way more than just a chance to rub elbows with the rich and famous. He's saying these parties are where secrets are made, and apparently Diddy's got some tapes that could totally wreck careers if they ever got out. And get this, Orlando didn't hold back at all. He said, yo, did you give me the USK smash? You gave me the USK smash D, which is kind of a bold thing to say, right? It's hard to believe, but with all the rumors swirling around Diddy's influence, it's hard not to wonder, could it be true? Could Hollywood's biggest names really be paying Diddy to keep certain things quiet? Orlando's even suggesting that these celebs are so wrapped up in keeping their reputations clean that they're handing over millions to make sure their secrets never see the light of day. Sounds crazy, right? But with everything happening behind the scenes, it's hard to shake the feeling that Diddy's power might be way bigger than we thought. And then there's the stuff coming from sources close to the situation. They're saying that it's not just about intimidation. No, apparently some of these stars are paying hush money to keep their darkest secrets hidden, especially when it comes to those wild freak-off parties. Seriously, this is next level stuff. Now, it gets even juicier. There's a lawyer named Tony Busby who represents over 120 victims, and he's making big waves. He's talking about a whole network of powerful people involved in shady stuff that could blow up Hollywood as we know it. Busby's gearing up to name names unless these celebs settle their cases privately. If they don't, it's all going public, and the evidence could be game-changing. But here's the real kicker. Busby's saying that anyone who knew what was going on or helped cover it up is in serious trouble too. It's like the secrets go deeper than anyone thought. So while a lot of people are still skeptical of Orlando's claims, it's starting to feel like there's more to this than just crazy accusations. Maybe Diddy's grip on Hollywood is stronger than we've ever realized.
You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake. Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
All right, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you is pretty wild. So there's this YouTuber named Trisha P.I.s who claims that Will Smith allegedly made an unwelcome advance toward one of his male dancers. In a now-deleted video, Trisha said she saw the whole thing go down and even expressed concern about Will's rumored behavior with his male dancers. Yeah, things are getting strange. But that's not all. There have been other weird stories about Will, especially with his son Jaden. Apparently, Will has tried to kiss Jaden on the lips multiple times, not on the cheek or forehead, but straight on the lips. And judging by Jaden's reactions, he didn't seem too comfortable with it. Now, I get it, parents show affection, but this just seems off, right? Then there's this story from comedian Burker. He shared a weird encounter with Will from when he was just starting out in Hollywood. Burker said Will invited him to hang out after being impressed by his comedy, but things started to get strange. Before meeting Will, Burker called his dad to let him know, and his dad gave him some pretty wild advice. He warned Burker that sometimes in Hollywood, guys who've had their fill of women start turning to younger guys for excitement. So Burker wasn't sure what to think, but just to be safe, he showed up dressed super casual overalls and a sweater. When he got to the meeting spot, a Planet Hollywood, they told him to go downstairs. Burker was expecting something shady, but when he walked into the room, he was shocked to see a bunch of hip-hop legends like Kumo D and Biz Markie hanging out instead of anything weird. He was like, wait, what? I could have been chilling with Kumo D. But here's where it gets juicy. This whole story has people talking in Hollywood. Some are wondering if Will's been secretly trying to initiate younger stars through some shady, hidden parties. And get this, Usher's name has even come up in these rumors, along with Drake. What's going on behind closed doors in Hollywood? Is it all just gossip, or is there something bigger at play here? We'll have to wait and see.
We take it on tape. You ain't going to jail. Me, you want this deal? Take that.
So, picture this Usher, just a kid starting out, signs with LaFace Records and gets taken under the wing of none other than Diddy. Sounds like a pretty classic mentor-mentee story, right? But here's where it gets wild. Diddy, in an interview with Kevin Hart, casually drops this bomb: he and Usher used to wake up in the same bed. Yeah, you read that right. Diddy's like, that's my brother right here. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older. It's one of those moments that makes you stop and go, wait, what? Definitely not your typical mentorship setup. And then there's this rumor that when Usher was just 14, he followed Diddy all the way to New York, things at Diddy's place. Let's just say they weren't exactly what you'd expect from a standard music mentor. There's even a video floating around where Diddy's hyping up Usher before a performance, saying, take your time with breathing in, sure days, we go. See, for you, this is for nobody else, it's a bit off, right? Diddy then jokingly says, mother infant, you in the kitchen consuming all my cereal, which just adds to the weird vibe. Was this just some friendly ribbing, or was there something else going on? Usher, of course, hasn't really opened up about what went down during that time. But when Howard Stern brought it up, Usher gave this super cryptic response. He spent a year living with Diddy in the 90s, and while he didn't give us all the details, he definitely hinted that some interesting things went down. There were very curious things taking place, Usher said, leaving us all wondering what exactly he meant by that. But he wasn't about to spill the tea. He teased that we'd have to wait for his book to find out more. It's classic Usher, right? And then there's Meek Mill, who somehow keeps getting dragged into the drama. People have started to wonder if he was part of this lawsuit involving Diddy. The lawsuit mentions a rapper who just so happens to be from Philly and dated Nicki Minaj. Fans are pretty convinced it's Meek, especially given some rumors about Diddy's yacht and underage girls. Meek didn't stay quiet though. He took to social media posting, I'm from Philadelphia, I don't do coke or freaky molly. Nobody would even offer me that stuff because I'm that heavy. But then a video surfaced showing Diddy getting a little too friendly with Meek, calling him daddy and saying, you deserve it, daddy, you putting in that work. Fans couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. What's really going on there? And just when you think the drama surrounding Diddy couldn't possibly get any more intense, here comes Kim Kardashian. Just a few months ago, right before the highly publicized police raids on Diddy's properties, Kim made a move that left everyone talking. She quietly unfollowed him on social media. While on the surface, it might seem like a small gesture, in the world of Hollywood, it speaks volumes. The Kardashians, especially Kim, have always been incredibly strategic about their public associations, and this move is nothing short of a statement. After all, Kim is no stranger to drama herself, but her decision to sever ties with Diddy amidst all the rumors and legal battles surrounding him certainly raised some eyebrows. Let's rewind for a moment. Kim and her sisters, Khloe, Kourtney, and Kendall, have all been seen at Diddy's exclusive, high-profile parties in the past. These weren't just your average Hollywood gatherings, they were filled with A-list celebrities, high-powered industry figures, and yes, a fair share of wild behavior. Back in the day, the Kardashians were frequent attendees, mingling with the who's who of the entertainment world. But as the years went on and the rumors surrounding Diddy's parties and his lifestyle began to surface more and more, things started to shift. Now, it seems like the Kardashian family, especially Kim, is slowly but surely distancing themselves from Diddy and his inner circle. And Kim's unfollowing Diddy wasn't an isolated incident. It almost felt like a part of a larger pattern among the Hollywood elite to distance themselves from the music mogul as more allegations and rumors started circulating. In fact, Khloe Kardashian herself revealed some unsettling details on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians back in 2014. In the episode, she spilled the tea on one of Diddy's infamous parties she attended, describing how things got so wild that people were literally stripping down in front of everyone. You can imagine how shocking that must have been for Khloe, especially considering the Kardashian sisters are no strangers to the spotlight and have seen their fair share of crazy moments, but this was a whole other level. It's clear from Khloe's revelations and the growing buzz around Diddy's gatherings that something was definitely off at those parties. But what exactly went down behind the closed doors of those lavish mansions? The details have always been murky, and while the stories have been whispered about in private circles for years, no one has ever come forward to fully explain what really went on at these events. It's almost like there's an unspoken code among those who attended. No one is willing to publicly address the true nature of Diddy's parties, even though the rumors are swirling. Could it be that the Kardashian family, as connected as they are to the Hollywood elite, knows something we don't? Maybe. After all, they've seen the inner workings of the entertainment industry up close, and it's no secret that Diddy's reputation has been controversial for years. From whispers about his control over the people around him to the more disturbing allegations coming to light, it seems that the glitz and glamour of Diddy's world might have come with a much darker side than anyone realized. In the wake of Kim's decision to unfollow Diddy, and with Khloe's comments adding fuel to the fire, the speculation around what really happens at those infamous parties has only intensified. Could it be that the Kardashians were privy to things they didn't want to be a part of? Or maybe they simply realized that distancing themselves from Diddy was the smart move, given the mounting controversy surrounding him? Either way, the question remains what was really going on behind closed doors at those Diddy-hosted parties. It's not just about the wild rumors, it's about the people who were there, the high-profile celebrities who mingled in those circles, and the dark undertones that have now come to light. What's even more chilling is that it's not just the Kardashians distancing themselves from Diddy. There seems to be a quiet exodus happening among others in the industry as well. Could there be more explosive stories waiting to be uncovered? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, this saga is far from over.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know.
So back in December 2019, Khloe posted a picture on Instagram with Kylie and Kim all glammed up at yet another one of Diddy's famous parties. She captioned it, "Nothing like a Diddy party." But here's where it gets interesting. Jamie Foxx has been a regular at these legendary gatherings for years, and let's just say there's a lot more to these events than what meets the eye. Everyone knows Diddy loves to throw extravagant parties, but some insiders have hinted that there's a darker side to his lavish lifestyle, one that comes with a price for those who get too close. There have been whispers about how Diddy supposedly controls people around him, sometimes using blackmail, influence, or who knows what else. And then there's Jamie Foxx, one of his frequent guests. People have always wondered what exactly goes down behind the scenes at these wild parties. Here's where things get seriously wild. Rumor has it, at one point Diddy challenged Jamie to a game of, wait for it, naked basketball.
Yep.
You read that right, naked basketball. Apparently Diddy, with his larger-than-life personality and love for chaos, thought it would be a fun way to break the ice. Can you imagine? Just picture yourself at one of those parties, surrounded by Hollywood's finest, and having something like that happen. It's literally next level. So did Jamie actually go through with it? According to him, he was good sport and didn't back down from the challenge. Apparently, Diddy would invite over Hollywood's elite for these men-only basketball games. Talk about pushing boundaries, right? But this wasn't Jamie's first experience at one of Diddy's infamous bashes. There's actually this old video that resurfaced where Jamie shared some pretty shocking details about one of the first Diddy parties he attended. Back then, Jamie was still trying to make a name for himself in Hollywood, and he decided to bring a camera to capture the night. When he asked Diddy if he could film, Diddy was totally on board. The party? It cost a mind-blowing $1.5 million, and of course, a list of celebs showed up in their fancy cars. One of the most unforgettable moments, Dr. Ruth, the famous therapist, was dancing with Diddy by the pool, grooving to Beyoncé's Crazy in Love while everyone watched. It was electric. But Jamie didn't just take in the wild vibes, he also taught Diddy how to throw a party on a budget, which became a legendary story in Hollywood. As crazy as these parties were, Jamie Foxx has admitted that they were honestly the most insane events he'd ever been to. Now, you might think he's just exaggerating, but Jamie's no stranger to Hollywood's wild side. He's been to his fair share of legendary gatherings and over-the-top celebrations, but Diddy's events, they took it to a whole other level. These weren't just lavish affairs where the rich and famous sipped champagne and danced all night. They were unpredictable, chaotic, and filled with some of the weirdest, most unexpected moments imaginable. Diddy didn't just throw parties, he created experiences that left everyone questioning what they had just witnessed. And it wasn't just about the glitz and glam. Sure, there was the bling, the luxury cars, the A-list guest list, and the famous faces everywhere you look, but that's just surface-level stuff. What really stood out, according to Jamie, was how these parties became Diddy's personal playground where he could live out his wildest fantasies without anyone batting an eye. From strange games to bizarre challenges, Diddy's parties seemed to blur the line between what's acceptable and what's just plain out there. It was almost as if the rules didn't apply, and that's what made these events so memorable, to say the least. Jamie shared stories of how things would get wildly out of control at these gatherings, things that you couldn't even make up if you tried. There was no telling what would happen next, and Jamie was more than willing to jump into the chaos. In fact, he claimed he learned a thing or two about pushing boundaries and stepping outside his comfort zone, something he never imagined he'd experience at a simple party. It wasn't just about networking or meeting new people, it was about being in an environment where the weird, the unconventional, and the outright shocking were par for the course. One moment that really sticks out in Jamie's memory was the infamous game of naked basketball, which he had no problem participating in. Yes, you read that right, naked basketball. Diddy, with his larger-than-life personality, came up with this insane idea to get the party going. As bizarre as it sounds, it wasn't even the weirdest thing to happen that night. The fact that Jamie was down for it just shows how out there these parties could get. But let's be real, it's hard to imagine any other celebrity hosting a party where naked basketball would even be considered a fun activity. But just when you think this story couldn't get any crazier, we've got Cuba Gooding Jr. entering the mix.
Yeah.
You heard me right, the Oscar-winning actor who's no stranger to his own fair share of controversy and drama. We're talking about an actor who's been in the spotlight for years and has had his moments, both good and bad, and now it seems he might be linked to some of the wild stories coming out of Diddy's infamous parties. If you thought Jamie Foxx's experiences were shocking, just wait until you hear what Cuba may or may not have been involved in. The fact that Cuba Gooding Jr. is getting dragged into this saga only adds more fuel to the fire. His name, already associated with some headline-making moments in Hollywood, is now intertwined with the rumors and accusations surrounding Diddy's chaotic parties. As crazy as this all sounds, it feels like we're only scratching the surface of a much larger story, one that involves some of the biggest names in Hollywood and the entertainment industry. So stay tuned, because this saga is far from over. With so many twists and turns already, it's anyone's guess where it'll go next. Will we hear more shocking revelations? Will more stars be pulled into this web of wild stories? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the world of Diddy's parties is about to get even more insane.
He gets on tape. He ain't going to jail. You mean? You want this deal?
So here's the latest drama that's been making waves. There's a new lawsuit filed by Diddy's former producer, Rodney Jones Jr., also known as Lil Rod. In this 70-page legal document, he's claiming that working for Diddy was way more than just about the music. Apparently, he was forced into some pretty uncomfortable situations, including some unwanted advances from Diddy himself. Jones even goes as far as saying that Diddy tried to push him into a sexual relationship, which he says is something that happens often in certain circles of the music industry. But it doesn't stop there. Jones also brings Cuba Gooding Jr. into the mix. He claims Gooding touched him inappropriately, including on his thighs and back. Now, this is all pretty shocking, and it's left a lot of people wondering if there's any truth to these accusations or if it's just another wild story. What's even crazier is that there's been talk about Diddy having a lot of influence over the Hollywood scene, to the point where he might be able to control careers with the snap of his fingers. So what does this mean for the stars involved? Could Diddy's power be the reason why some of these allegations are being swept under the rug? It's a lot to unpack, and honestly, it's hard to ignore the fact that something weird could be going on behind the scenes. When allegations like this surface, they're not just about one person, they open up a whole world of questions. And let's be real, the music and entertainment industries have always been a bit of a mystery, with rumors and stories flying left and right. But this is on a whole new level. Rodney Jones Jr., or Lil Rod, coming forward with these serious accusations against Diddy is shaking things up. He's not just claiming mistreatment or misconduct, he's pointing fingers at what he describes as a culture of manipulation and control, a hidden underworld within the music industry that's left a lot of people questioning what's really going on behind those closed doors. And let's be honest, when someone as well known as Diddy gets pulled into a lawsuit like this, it makes everyone stop and think. Is it just another wild accusation, or is there some truth to it? We've seen so many strange things come to light over the years, so nothing really feels impossible anymore. What makes this even crazier is that Jones is not alone in his claims. For years, there's been talk about Diddy's incredible influence in Hollywood and the music industry. People have whispered about how his power stretches far beyond just making hits or throwing legendary parties. There's a belief that Diddy has the ability to make or break careers, to pull strings and control situations with just a few words. Could this be why so many people have stayed silent about what's really been happening at these infamous parties? Could he really be that powerful to the point where people are scared to speak out? And now we have Cuba Gooding Jr. being dragged into this lawsuit as well. It's one thing to make accusations about Diddy, but then to throw in a Hollywood heavyweight like Cuba, that raises even more eyebrows. Gooding is already dealing with his own controversies, and now this new layer has just added to the drama. Jones claims that Cuba wasn't just attending these parties, he allegedly took things further, crossing boundaries that make everyone uncomfortable just to hear about. So now it's not just about Diddy anymore, it's about a bigger network of celebrities and the bizarre, sometimes unsettling things that go on behind closed doors. All of this is giving people a lot to think about, especially when it comes to the power dynamics in Hollywood. If Diddy truly has the ability to control these A-list stars, what does that say about the way the entertainment industry works? How much is the public really seeing, and how much is being hidden from view? There's always been an air of mystery about these big names, but this could be the tip of the iceberg. Of course, the big question on everyone's mind is whether or not these allegations are true. Is this a case of a disgruntled former employee looking for revenge, or is it something much darker? Only time will tell how this all plays out, but there's no denying that the story is just getting started. The details are coming out bit by bit, and it's hard to say how deep this rabbit hole really goes. Anyway, that's all for today, but I want to know what you think. Do you believe these allegations, or do you think this is just more drama to add to the long list of scandals that seem to follow celebrities around? Are we witnessing the unraveling of something huge, or is it just another baseless claim? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it.